So I just parked and I got out. Well, by the time I did all that, he got in his truck and he was backing out. And I thought, well, I'm going to go say hello to this guy. So I did. And I said, hi, good morning. He smokes like a chimney. Man.
My goodness, we really
So,
that.
You're doing much better behind me.
I said, hi. I said, would you believe I told you my name is Michael Perrot? So he looks at me kind of quizzically. And I said, well, I said, and I said, my cousin is Paul Perrot. Oh, he says. So, I mean, we just chatted for a minute or so. But I said to him, I said, well, when you see Paul, why don't you tell him we met? And apparently he didn't bother doing that. All right. What are we supposed to do here? Take off our coat? Okay.
Photographed it from the ground up. And see, that's where maybe the Athenaeum may have all those documents.
Yeah, we do have photographs. I mean, I have some photographs of untitled footings. And I did know that my grandfather had a concern about fire.
Yes.
And he normally put in the fire escape first. And I remember one building that we were doing, that they were doing in Ocean City, New Jersey, and they were putting in a school, and everything was outlined where it was supposed to be or where it was going to be. And then in the middle was a stairway to nowhere. But the stairway went in first, steel stairway, blocking around
And
there.
he invented that.
Yes.
You know, when you have these now schools and all where you go into the staircase that was fire, you know, he invented that. And I have a book of French chateaus, and there's one called Bois.
The stair goes both ways.
And it's one of those staircases where you can go up and down without seeing the other person. Well, it's on the outside of the building, and all he did was enclose it, because there's scratched notes, so I know that was his inspiration for us. So he took an outside staircase and just enclosed it. That way, if there's a fire in the building, you can go up and down the staircase without being in the burning building.
I don't know if Lydia conveyed to you what we want to do. We're either be doing an extensive article on our magazine or a website or something like this, because we're doing, it's going to be our 100th anniversary, where you can speak to that. Was the cornerstone was laid?
1914.
Right. Yeah. So that's really what this is going to evolve into. So we're looking for archival information to include. So photographs, anything that was written. There's going to be some text that will develop around this. But we really think it's something that we want to share with everybody. So that's really was the impetus of Lydia reaching out to.
Yes, well, I sort of thought that, but it wasn't important. The cornerstone is 1914. Grandfather was a partner with Ballinger and Perrot from 1901 to 1920. Obviously, in the brochures that we have from Ballinger and Perrot, it shows many of the buildings that they did. In there, they indicate Villa Maria, and the pump house
Right.
in Ballinger and Perrot. Now, that obviously had to be buildings that were done before 1920. And you have a cornerstone that says 1914. What I have a slight problem with is, and the information that I've provided with you, is information from grandfather when he went out on his own from 1920. I have all his records. Well, I have all of the records that we have of his, which are not all of his records because there's obviously gaps in some of the numbering system where there's numbers missing. But I have no idea where they are.
Yeah.
So okay. So, but based from the information we have, it shows that he built this building in 1922, which obviously is of a concern. And the pump house was in 1922. And the records I gave you are the ones specifically relating to the building, and we knew at the time that they built the building and funding was a problem.
Right.
And so they went with the idea of doing everything to preserve the structure. So they put the roof on it and walls, but they didn't finish it off. And then a year or so later, funding became available and they finished it off. So you'll see in these records, you'll see that information. There's also information in there about a yellow house. And what that is or where that may be,
Yeah, really.
or it may be green now.
Yeah, I was going to say it's obviously not yellow.
So I don't know what that is,
Yeah.
but there's a charge for it, a bill for it. And the information in there shows the billing, how much was done to put it under roof. That's the words they use, under roof, and then the finishing off later. And it gives the contractors that did the work.
Okay.
And I also went through and made copies of the specific pages that showed the subcontractors. I mean, the architect is a commander of the ship, and he gets the person to do the stairs, the person to do this, the person to do that, and the companies to do those things. And like the grotto, wherever that is, there's charges to do the grotto, do the light. There's 4 lampposts around.
Oh yeah, that's right. We did talk about that. I don't know if they're still there or not.
Well, I don't know either. I don't know if
right.
the statue's there or not, but you can see who it is that where they got the statue.
And there's actually a new statue that was just replaced last year.
Yeah, well, there you are. So,
Yeah.
and then there was a separate bill for the halo for the statue. So, I mean, anyway, so that was intriguing.
Yeah.
So that's what's in here,
Okay.
but the information, the only information I can get is the information that I have from my grandfather's records, and they show that this place was built 10 years after.
Yeah.
Well,
You know what the confusion may be? This was actually 3 projects. There was the middle building, which was Villa Maria, which was probably 1914. Then there was Lord's Hall, which is that wing over that direction, which came next a few years later. Then there was Nazareth, which is the part we're sitting in right now, which was built a few years later. So it wasn't all built at one time. It was built as the sisters had money, and it was built in 3 different phases, and it spread throughout a period of time. And you can, if you walk around the exterior of the building, you can see the differences in the stone, because the stone came out of the quarries at different times. So there's a change in the stone from one wing to the next, and I think that's probably why you're seeing the disparity in years. So he did in fact start while he was at Ballinger.
Yes.
Probably the last phase of construction was finished up after he had just left Ballinger.
Yeah, well, this 22 and 23 is when there's 800,000 or something in there. You see the numbers in there. But the chimney, now of course I see you have 2 chimneys. Of course you may have more than that, but the big chimney, he has a bill for it. Well, I assume it's that chimney.
At the powerhouse?
Yes, it's
Okay.
the powerhouse.
Photographed in this binder.
Is there
Yeah,
more
there's
than
a picture of the powerhouse, yeah. Which was also the it's interesting because it calls it the laundry. It was also the laundry, campus laundry at the time. And we know from our facilities folks, there were also housing units in there for the workmen. They actually lived
I heard that.
down there in that powerhouse.
that would not be
And
uncommon.
kept the boilers running and
Yeah,
so
but
forth.
that grandfather built American Viscose in Marcus Hook, Pennsylvania, and what they did is they built across the street 250 or 125 houses to house the workers for the plant, so there was no transportation problems. You're late for work? How could you be late for work when we live across the street? So, that's it. But on this fire thing, I do have records of grandfather built the RCA, what is now RCA, it used to be called the Victor Talking Machine Company, the dog, as you go over the Benjamin Franklin Bridge, there's the RCA building tower sitting up. I guess you don't go that way.
No, but
You may not be
Well, at some time you may, before they tear it down.
Yeah, they put it back.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they took RCA
Nipper.
Victor out.
Yeah, so but the dog's visible from the bridge. The top is like 6 or 8 floors up, but then you can see it looking out from the bridge. In any case, what I'm trying to say is grandfather, there were, I think, 5,500 employees in all these floors and all the buildings and all that. And he did a fire drill, and it was 12 minutes that they all got out. And nobody
Like
got
for
hurt.
thousands of people.
Yeah, for 5,500 people, got out in 12
I have
minutes.
that number too. I remember.
Yeah.
That fire.
Yeah,
That's
So-
why he used concrete so much.
yeah. And to fast forward, we don't always progress as we get older or whatever. And the World Trade Center is a terrible problem, but they did get a variance in the code to put in a fire escape that was covered with wallboard as opposed to concrete. So in their wisdom, they were able to save a lot of money by not putting a concrete. And then of course they just severed the fire escape, and that wouldn't have happened if it had been a Perrot built the building, because it would have been a concrete, and the concrete likely would not have yielded to the forces. So,
What should we eat?
well, I don't know. Did that make everybody hungry or what?
Why don't we have lunch?
Yeah, that's good.
This is your first visit.
It's a student teacher, that's good. If it's a faculty, that's not good. So they just don't come to me.
can't put that many words in the thought. It's much more order.
Here, I'll hold them down while you get them.
Not have people be unhappy. It's just like with architecture. If I pick red, someone's gonna like green.
Yeah, I just go, oh, that's nice, thanks for sharing, and then just move on. But it's just,
This must be the gouda cheese that they were talking about.
Is that a crab soup?
It is.
And Bob and I were at a reception last week, and we talked to the former president, Sister Roseanne, who was here while we were doing the renovation in 2000. We said, we didn't throw away any of those blueprints, did we? She knew right what they were. So we went Lydia went the next day and found them. They're in a drawer in a cabinet. I said, I wouldn't think they'd throw something like this away.
This is the second floor.
Which is, was offices,
Bedrooms.
they're all offices now. The whole development area has one end.
This is the cloister.
And then this floor now is all, the third floor, it's all dorms.
Oh, it's dorms.
Yeah.
That's adjusted for the.
What year is in this? Is it mixed or is it?
It's boys on one side, girls on the
Now,
other.
does that ticket
Mixed up.
include a license plate? And a meal, whatever it is. But I just looked at, and Paul has it in some of the archives that he has. A postcard was sent to his oldest son, Joseph,
Yeah, Nazareth Hall.
and telling him to do what your mama says. But it's postmarked on the Cunarder, and it shows a picture of a boat. And this is in 1912, January of 12, posted at sea,
Right down here is
and all that, it's in the postmark. But they show a picture of a Canardi, but there's no name on the boat. On the bow, there's no name. It's just like a generic. It has 4 stacks. And the Titanic had 4 stacks. And the 4th stack, the aftmost stack, was a fake. I'm just wondering if this is the Titanic. I know they built another Olympic or something. They were building, they were building 2 at the same time in the yard in Belfast, and which the British say Belfast. But
Ask Joanne. She talks about, you know, when you have gymnasiums and the bleachers collapse and break
Yeah, they
forward.
fold in.
Did he have something to do with that?
I don't know.
Joanne keeps bringing that up, so I don't know if he invented that. He used it a lot. And the other thing he used a lot of in his industry are those sawtooth, you have a building and a roof,
Oh yeah,
and
the factory, yes.
and you have all those windows on a sawtooth. He was a proponent of that because it got light into the factory.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
You know, so he did a lot.
It's like a signature of his.
Yeah, I don't know if he invented it, but he used it a lot. Fire escape.
Oh, home economics wing.
That's
what that is.
It was very big.
Very important.
Home management,
Yeah, yeah.
food, laboratory, fitting room, clothing.
And that's up here on the 3rd floor. And it's still, we just renovated the kitchen's up there, and they're all new for our nutrition and dietetics major. Yeah, and then we have
What would be the
market, and we have marketing.
1921.
what would be your most popular major, or what?
Education.
Education.
Education, I would say, and nursing now.
Oh,
We
nursing.
have nursing in all 3 levels.
Oh.
R&D, the traditional nursing program is MSN.
Have you had nursing for a while, or is that
We
newer?
have had nursing for about 20 years.
Oh, okay.
But most, it's,
Can we need to get one more
but
photo
not for
of
the
you?
traditional
Of the group whenever?
Okay.
To go upstairs to the blue room, the photo I took is kind of
is this
kind of
the?
plain Jane,
This is the
good amount.
and I would love to
before
get
meal and after meal.
if you guys would be up for
Healthcare
it, perhaps
industry.
a semi-staged photo,
Yeah.
but get a photo of you all.
The other one you looked at, it looked like it was dates, and because it said like 03 to 12, and so I thought maybe it was indicative of segments of construction, but it's the room number. Cute.
Well, where did Lydia go? This is information I gave you. Where is it?
Oh, right here.
You want my copy?
No, it's different.
Uh-oh.
This is just your stuff here.
Different
but this is-
copies for different folks.
Yes, that's right. Not everybody got the same.
Oh my
Not everybody got the same information.
Now, then I guess we better be careful about.
Don't mix these things up.
Well,
That's
yeah.
right. This could be critical. Okay. Well, I guess everybody's going to come in. All right. Just so you know, here you can pour over my shoulder. This is the information that I came up with from the records that I have. All right. And you have this. All right. This is why it's so confusing. This had to be done after 1920, after 1920. And in here it has main building, refractory building. Is there a refractory building around
Yes,
here?
and
It's on-
it's
it's
on
in
here.
there.
It's where they
Okay.
eat. I think that's what sisters
All
call
right,
their
I believe that.
dining
I
floor.
think that's right.
All right. Powerhouse, mechanical equipment, reservoir. Now, the Ballinger and Perrot brochure says that they build for a powerhouse, and they also build for a powerhouse. And this is after the partnership was over. Reservoir, septic tank, mechanical equipment, drains, grading, terracing, roads, parks, a yellow house.
There's that yellow house
There's a
again.
yellow house.
Find the yellow house.
Furnishings and stuff. All right. And then it goes down here and it says cost of the original, and then it shows total amount of the original, blah, blah. Somewhere,
What is the total cost?
oh,
What
well,
does it say? How much? Quanto?
812,000. But it was divvied up into original cost to place building under roof. And that's when they ran out of money. So they,
And how much was that?
152,000.
So,
There was a little bit more coming sometime. Right, but this is the 152,000 shows what they did: the masonry for the pipe, the partitions, art marble, vault lights, terracotta hardware, reinforced concrete, glass dome, millwork, lighting, painting, plumbing, a lot of stuff. All right, and then total cost of building was 378, but that's just to get under the roof. Then up to the 800,000 is later. These are the page numbers. Those page numbers refer to these page numbers up here, and I wrote that on because there was no way of, I had to come up with some sort of way of handling the volume, so I arbitrarily put those numbers on there because Villa Maria, now it shows Villa Maria College at Immaculata, Pennsylvania. Some of them say that it was in Frazer, Pennsylvania. Some of it has in Westchester. The powerhouse was in Westchester. Right, see, and there's the job number for 171. So the job number changes on some of these. Some of it's not listed as a job number. This is the date of the contract. This is the date when it was completed. And this is the billing, and this is what the payment. So
We can scan these for
that's so you can see 1450, 1400. No, 14,000 for the powerhouse. And there's a separate bill in here for the chimney. So, which is $1,500. Whoops, yeah, $1,500. So, and there's the date of the contract, and here's when it was done. So, and this is the person that did it, and their address. The American Chimney Corporation from New York City.
Okay.
So they had to bring themselves down here and do it. Now the powerhouse was in Westchester, more Westchester stuff.
Yeah, we were curious who actually made the stained glass and the
As I said, it was only because one of our former presidents.
Well, see, I don't have that. I have the grotto,
Okay.
and this is the total, in this volume, this is all the information there is to Immaculata.
Yes, okay.
Give me something?
no, I didn't.
okay.
But
That's
I thought
fine.
the one that you showed me had the Neil G. Perrot.
It does.
Oh, this is.
This is all where
I see.
the pros are buried.
Oh, yeah, right. There's okay.
that. Okay?
Yeah.
But this does not have the Immaculata information in it. Or it does.
It does.
Yeah, it does. It's the same, right.
I just added the cemeteries to the
Right.
All right, okay. This is the same thing it gave to them, except
Yes.
we have more of the burials.
Yes.
Okay.